questions. How many of you have ever been asked a question, which is, what do you do? Show me a raise of hands if you've been asked that question. Great. And how many of you have asked the same question to others? What do you do? Show me a raise of hands. Awesome. Now, how many of you have noticed that awkward raising of the eyes or a discomfort or a shift in their body language just before they're going to say something as if that is uncomfortable? Show me a raise of hands if you have noticed that ever. Awesome, awesome. I see some smiles and I see the hands raising as well. Thank you so much for responding to that. Hi, my name is Tanya, which Devesh very well introduced me. I am a new PSAI member, and my topic is self-censorship dims your light. And before I begin, I would genuinely want to thank each one of you to be present here on a Friday evening to support your fellow speakers. And thank you so much for investing in this community. And to the PSAI Delhi chapter for conducting this keynote lab and having me here. Thank you so much for that. And today, if you're going to take something from this session, is I would want you to hopefully understand what are the instances where you are dimming your shine. Where are the instances that is holding you back? And what is it that you can actually do about it? So now, having shared that, I want to check with all of you. Are you ready for this speech? Show me a double thumbs up. Great, great. Lovely audience, lovely audience. Thank you for that. So as Devesh already introduced me and it has have mentioned, I've been a coach for the last 5 years. I've done career coaching, business coaching, life coaching, coach 660 plus individuals, right? There are a few things that I have understood from them. My biggest edge is understanding what is the misalignment that people go through. That is the biggest edge. But what that helped me, or what I identified after coaching so many people, is that there is a very common blind spot in all of us, in y'all, in me, in all those 660 people that I've coached. And that blind spot is that in order to be understood, we have been editing ourselves, and it has costed us our potential. And the sad part is that a lot of us do not even realize that is what is happening. Okay, so that is what the topic is about today. But there is a very significant instance that led me to pick up this topic, which is self-censorship dims your light. A couple of weeks back, I met this wonderful individual, lovely, charming, and they were also very accomplished. And in the conversation, I ended up asking them, okay, so what do you do? And suddenly, I saw their smile fade away. I saw them searching for answer in their mind, as if trying to get an answer from the hard drive of their head. Trust me, the words were perfect, and they absolutely made sense. But something was missing. A spark was missing. But anyway, I continued. I stayed with them, tried to understand, okay, why do they even do their work and how has that been impacting people in their lives? And guess what happened? Very subtle shifts. Their face started lighting up. The eyes became bigger. The smile became bigger. It was as if somebody infused life into them. You know those moments where you've been fasting for the whole day and suddenly you eat thoda sa kuch khane mil jaye, and then you have the energy back. That is what happened in that moment. And that is the moment I am fighting for today, which is stop performing, so that we stop performing for a softer version and start accepting our real selves, start sharing our real truth. The problem is that we think that we are protecting ourselves when we are editing. But in reality, we are shrinking our light. We are shrinking our shine. I have done that. And for me, it was mainly the fear of being understood, that people will not understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing. And if I'm being honest, that is a story of a lot of us here. Show me a raise of hands if you have ever lived that, even for a few seconds. Okay, a few of them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Great. Now, the question is, why do we even need it? Why do we be honest? Why do we share our honesty, share our truth? Because when you are honest, when you are authentic, when you say things you actually mean without editing yourself, is where the energy lies. That is where your gift lies. That is probably the message that you hold with yourself that has to be shared to the world. And in trying to edit that, you are editing your gift, you are editing your uniqueness. And this could confirm for me when I attended this talk by Andy Lopata. Do any of you know about Andy Lopata? Show me a raise of hands. He's a PSAI member. Okay, a few. Great. So there was a talk that was conducted a couple of weeks back in Mumbai. PSAI Mumbai chapter had conducted it. And in that, the major key takeaway was authenticity. Now, how did he share that? He shared a story with us where he let us know how he ended up doing a gig, and very vulnerably he mentioned it was for money, to get a gig and to get things rolling. But what happened was, because he was not aligned with that particular topic or with that particular audience, he was not able to deliver the impact that he was hoping for. And you know what was the result of that? He did not only lose the connection with the audience, and the connection was lost, but the message that he wanted to share did not land the way he was expecting. Now, because audience didn't connect, he did not get called back, and it was a huge audience, so that means there was a lot of opportunity lost as well. That is what happens when we are not being authentic, not only in sharing but also in picking up gigs. Also, if some of you are interested in this particular talk, please go to LinkedIn, check our Mumbai chapter members posts. All of us have posted about it, something or the other. And you know what? I actually love that about PSAI. Every member ends up putting anything and everything on LinkedIn. Do you all have you all experienced that? Show me a raise of hands. Okay, I do see the smiles. I do see it. Okay. Thank you so much for being honest over here about that. Now, here's something that we all did. Did you notice that, or because of me, we all judged our own members based on the frequency at which they are uploading the posts, right? Hold that moment. Recall a time where you were about to comment on something, but you stopped. Recall a time where you were about to post something, but it still sits in your drafts. Recall those moments where you've held yourself from commenting on something. Did you know that 71% of Facebook users, because of self-censor themselves, they don't upload a lot of posts. 1/3 of the post is just sitting there. And that is because of fear of how the audience will react. That's just on Facebook. I can't even imagine what would happen on a rather professional platform like a LinkedIn, right? But the question is, which I really want you to think about right now, is who is really judging you? Who is really stopping you from putting up that post, putting that comment? Whose voice is in your head when you are about to comment or about to say something? The question to all of the questions above is are you are that voice. You are standing between yourself and the other person and your shining side. Because when you judge yourself, the room just agrees. You're the first one who sees that judgment. The room and your audience and the people, everyone on social media, they just follow your judgment and your understanding about yourself. If you agree with me, show me a raise of hands. Great. Thank you. I call this voice the editor. Now, this voice is very calm yet very loud. And it will show out of nowhere. It will come out of nowhere. This is what that voice sounds like. Don't do that. Change this particular statement. Don't say it this way because you will be called out for this. There is a better way to say this. This is what the editor sounds like. And when the editor grabs the mic, your energy shrinks. So does your voice. And that is what people notice. That is what people witness every single day. Now, since we are all speakers over here, I have also come across a lot of you who have mentioned, oh, we are struggling to find a niche. Today, if you're struggling to find a niche, today, if you're struggling to finalize on a topic, today, if you're struggling to deliver the impact even after a perfectly drafted, fine speech, that is because of prolonged self editing. That is because you have stopped listening to yourself. Now you're unable to even identify or locate the core of your message. You are unable to hear yourself. You're unable to see yourself. And as Richa very well explained, the kind of noise that already exists out there. So the noise plus the editing that we are doing has led us to forget who we are or is not allowing us to connect with ourselves. And we are also doing all of this because of fear of judgment, fear of consequences, fear of audience, fear of how we will be perceived, and everything else that follows. There was this very intriguing book that I came across online. Of course, I've not read it. It is The Five Regrets of Dying. Yeah, yeah, a book like that does exist. Okay. Five Regrets of Dying. It is written by Bronnie Ware. She is an Australian author and she's a motivational speaker. And you know what was the number one regret that she mentioned? I will read this properly because I don't want y'all to miss out on the essence of it. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life expected of me. This particular line has been the number one regret. Editing your truth is only going to lead to regret factory, nothing else. But the good news is, guys, that we can actually do something about it. It is not too late. And with that, I would like to present to you an acronym, an affirmation, and a framework that you can use in everyday life. And what is it called? It is called SHINE. SHINE. Here's what it stands for. S stands for spot the edit. Now, what is that spot the edit? Every day in your conversation, you must have noticed you are about to say something, but you stop. You don't say it. You just accept. Agreeing to disagreeing has become the norm of your life, hasn't it? Show me a raise of hands. Exactly. So every time in your everyday conversation, you notice yourself editing or about to edit, spot it. Become aware of it on everyday basis. That's the first thing. Second, etch. Hold it. Pause for a second. And you know what will happen when you pause? Your courage will catch up to the honesty. It is like an internal meeting or internal discussion between the truth and the fear. Now, how to hold that pause? I'll teach you. Don't worry. Just follow my instructions, everyone, and I can see all whoever has kept your cameras on. So, just follow my instruction. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Come on, come on. I am looking at y'all. Go ahead. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold. And exhale with your mouth. Good. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold. and exhale with your mouth. That's it. That is how you hold the pause. That is your itch. I is insert the real line. The thing that you were going to say but did not say it as it is. Let it come out in that pause. But this has to be followed by the next step, which is N. Name it kindly. We are all humans. We hold that responsibility to be kind, to be honest, and not cruel. So even if in your mind you're thinking, oh, what the hell, this person is just so blah, you cannot say it like that. You have to say, hey, I disagree with what you are saying. This is what I believe. So you are sharing your truth. You are sharing what is real for you while holding the respect for the other person. So the N stands for name it kindly. And E is the most important part. If you are not going to do this, the entire Shine framework does not work, the speech does not work, none of it will make sense. And that E is every day. Every day, you have to start by sharing one true line. You have to spot where you are editing yourself. You have to hold the pause so that your courage can catch up. You have to insert the true line. You have to do it kindly so that you don't become a rude human being while trying to be honest and true to yourself. And you have to do this every day. Because when you do this every day, is when you will be able to shine. How? Every time you walk up to the stage, you will be dazzling people with what you say because they will be mesmerized by the way you are talking. You will be able to make the audience dance to your tunes because you are saying the truth and they can hear the truth, which is something that Richa explained to us in the previous conversation. So, if you really want to rock that stage, rock that meeting, rock that presentation, all you have to do is practice, shine every single day. But with great power comes responsibility. So, you decide whether you want to be Shushmita Sen or Donald Trump. Both of them are known for sharing or being honest. Right? Now, next time somebody walks up to you and says, what do you do? Speak your truth and do not look for that script. And for everything else, just shine your way, guys. Just shine your way.